your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
A couple of rain showers showing up tonight on the Storm Tracker Doppler. We zoom down into Champaign County. Take a look at these showers that show up from near Toronto, south of Sydney, all the way down towards the Broadlands and the Newman area. These showers are slowly drifting to the south and east, so that'll be impacting northern Edgar County there, portions of Vermilion County as well. These showers will be coming to an end over the next few hours. Temperatures tonight, not bad, upper 60s, 69 in Champaign and Effingham. Tomorrow, the humidity levels coming down. It's going to feel really comfortable with highs only topping out into the lower 80s. So how long will this nice weather stick around? We'll talk about it when we come back here in just a little bit. WCIA 3 News starts
now from WCIA 3 News.
We weep for them, and then you think about how the people that loved him feel about him losing his life like that.
Many are mourning the death of a man shot and killed over the weekend, and now they're rallying for change. Some students rely on school to stay fed. How one district is making sure kids can still eat while learning remotely. REO Speedwagon is known for its music, but one member is also showing he has a generous heart.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
Put the guns down, young brother. Put the guns down.
It's a long story, but he was a great kid. We hang around. We are part of the right.
Those are the voices of people demanding change in the culture of gun violence in Champaign. Today, they gathered where a 23-year-old man was shot and killed over the weekend. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. We told you Saturday night, Christopher Kelly died after being shot outside of a business near Willis and Bloomington Road. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is with us. So Jennifer, what was the message of today's rally?
Jessica, today people gathered at the same place the shooting happened to show respect and also publicly plead for the gun violence to stop.
You think about the family of the person who was killed, and we weep for them, and then you think about how the people that loved him feel about him losing his life like that.
People are mourning the death of Christopher Kelly, a young man whose life ended when he was shot over the weekend. Days after it happened, a crowd of people came out to show support for his family.
Try to console the family first. That's the first thing that we have to do, try to wrap our arms around the family. And then we get out here and do our leg work and try to get the young men who may feel a certain kind of way to try to change their minds.
We got to not normalize this mess.
The group of people that rallied are with the organization called HVNT. It stands for Hood Vision Neighborhood Transformation.
The mission of it is to get inside these high hope areas and educate our young men on the political, social, and economical ills that affect us. And not just our young men, but our young women as well.
During the summer, they've gone into neighborhoods that have been the sites of violent crimes to build relationships with people.
We got a good group of people here, and I'm happy about that, but we have to come together.
The goal is to be a positive impact in people's lives and try to change the mindset of turning to violence first, especially with the youth.
The music and the entertainment is all about who can be the biggest shooter. So it's a mentality that has been adopted just because it's a change in the era.
Put the guns down, young brother. Put the guns down.
They're trying to unite people in peace instead of creating more of a divide in the community.
One life matters. One life matters.
The most important part of our mission is to stop these young men from killing each other and the use of violence and guns.
Champaign police say Kelly was outside of a business when several cars pulled up. People got out and an argument started, and that's when he was shot. Nobody has been arrested yet. Jessica, back to you.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. A string of shootings in Decatur left one person dead and 3 others hurt. The first happened this morning near East Walnut and North Lober Streets. A man died. Later, there were reports of gunfire at MLK and Grand and MLK and Garfield. 2 went to the hospital. After that, police saw shootings between 2 cars near Jasper and Wood. 1 woman was hurt there. There were also calls about gunfire in the area of 20th and Prairie. People who live in Decatur say they want people to choose peace.
Don't care no more about life. Nothing, no reason to live. And the young people know they like their no role model. That's the main problem right there.
Police want anyone with information to contact them. 4 people were shot in separate shootings in Danville. The first happened Saturday night. 3 people were hurt near the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue and Williams Street. On Sunday, police responded to a shooting near College and South Street. A 21-year-old was shot in the chest. No word on the victim's conditions or if those shootings were related. We have a follow-up on a teenager who died while riding his bike on Highway 136. Investigators say 18-year-old Matthew Carell and a 15-year-old were both hit. Carell died at the scene. He went to Randall Township High School, and Principal Todd Wilson says they will be offering counseling services. Carell lived in Gifford, and we talked with one person there who says this was tragic news for the whole community.
I actually talked to my mom about this, and she was very upset thinking about what if it was us. And I know it's a very hard thing to go through, and it's not something a parent wants to go through, ever.
No charges have been filed, but police are investigating. And police are also investigating after a body was found in Clay County. The body of 29-year-old Austin Woods of Edgewood was discovered on a country road in Mason. There's no information on cause of death. An autopsy is scheduled. A Charleston man has been federally charged for sexual exploitation of children. Authorities say 39-year-old James Williams is also charged with distribution and possession of child porn. He's accused of extorting several kids in Illinois over nearly 2 years, including girls as young as 10. Officials say he coerced kids into producing porn and sent it to others. We have more on his charges on our website. The recount for the Macon County Sheriff's race is headed to trial. It could be October before things get started. Right now, attorneys for challenger Jim Root and current Sheriff Tony Brown are gathering evidence. They'll present their findings on the disputed ballots in court in Champaign. In 2018, Root lost the race by 1 vote. We have new information about the night the Champaign Police Department was vandalized last week. Police say a commander did call one of the leaders of that protest to get them to stop, but officials would not comment on why they didn't physically send officers out to talk to people in person. The protesters from the Champaign County Anti-Racism Coalition told us they used water-soluble chalk to spray the building. The city says it was not. It took Public Works several hours to chemically dissolve and power wash the material that was used. The governor has put new restrictions on part of the state because of an increase in COVID cases. They start tomorrow in the Metro East region east of the St. Louis area. Restrictions include closing bars and restaurants by 11 p.m. and limiting meetings and social events to 25 people. There are over 1,700 new cases in Illinois, making more than 207,000 overall. 12 more people have died. There are now 7,700 COVID-related deaths in the state. And the Illinois Department of Public Health has released a nationwide map for travel risks during the pandemic. Locations that have an average daily case rate of 15 cases per 100,000 people or greater are considered high risk. Those are in shades of purple on your screen. Those with less than that number are lower risk, and those are in blue. For more on that map, you can head to WCIA.com. Saliva testing for COVID-19 could soon expand further into the Champaign-Urbana community. So far, it's been used on the U of I's campus. It's already been approved by the state, but it needs clearance from the FDA to go further. People who use the saliva test could get results within hours instead of days. Public health leaders say it's also just as reliable as the nasal swab.
Based on all the testing they have done, and they've been doing it for the last 2 months, they've simultaneously compared samples from saliva and nasal and even nasopharyngeal, and they have all come back to be almost similar to all 3 methods.
As far as when we could see saliva tests at Marketplace Mall in Champaign, that's still in question. It will have to be FDA approved, but after that, public health officials say it's a strong possibility. Move-in week is starting for the U of I, and it looks different because of the pandemic. Students moving in this fall have to reserve a time slot online. First-year students are encouraged to select a slot on or before Thursday. Returning students are encouraged to move in between Friday and Sunday. For more on those schedules, head to WCIA.com. He came to pay his mom a visit. What else one rock star did in Champaign? Plus, remote learning doesn't mean school meals have to stop. How one district is keeping the food coming. And later, Big Ten fall sports are going to postpone. Now the question is, what will basketball look like? What the NCAA had to say.